and I've become a director mainly because of watching Amitabh Bachchan from my teens or whenever. The whole idea of power and intense performances, obviously in India I think started with Mr. Bachchan, and even till now it's only him, and I doubt that ever an actor will come in cinema who can surpass Amitabh Bachchan. So one important thing I wanted to do in Sarkaar3, I feel Amitabh Bachchan became what he was in the concept of anger, so-called the angry man who stood for repression in terms of injustice or anything which the common man wanted for. They saw that outlet in the characters he played right from Zanjeer onwards. And I think that was one of the main reasons why he achieved such an unimaginable superstardom. And I felt over the last few years, maybe I would say the last decade, most filmmakers, including myself, have taken him for granted and trying to put him in roles which are probably complex and very difficult to perform. But I think we somewhere forgot the power which he represents and the anger against injustice, what he stands for. So I just wanted to revisit that and make it more powerful than ever, and that's where the tagline "Angrier than ever" comes from. So, I mean, to cut it short, the main thing of Sarkaar3 is I feel it's on a scale which is much more, the negative forces are much more larger, the issues are much more larger. So Sarkaar3 in my view is much more larger in every which way than the earlier two franchises. And also, I think this is the first time in Indian cinema that a third part came with the same character, saying the role. And I'm very proud to be a part of that. And probably Amitabh Bachchan obviously is the only actor who's ever done that, and which has the same kind of power, and its intensity, and its like one thing Abhishek said when he saw the first time he saw the couple of scenes I shot. He said, Ramu, the only one problem I have with this is Amitabh Bachchan is looking 10 years younger than last time I saw him in Sarkaar. So I didn't know. But I think Mr. Bachchan just kind of gets possessed into the character, and what he thinks inside reflects outside, and that's what I think it explains the whole thing. And thank you very much once again. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ramu sir. Just one question that I'd like to ask you before we call upon the cast. Angrier than ever, uski baat kar rahe hain. So was there a moment on the set jahan pe apne upar anger barsa ho aapke upar while filming?
On me?
Yeah.
See, to start with, I think Amitabh is one of the most gentle persons I ever met in my life, and which everyone knows for a fact, the most sensitive person. So I think his anger, either he hides it, and in real life he performs as a gentle soul, or other way around. So none of us will ever know the truth. Who's the real Amitabh Bachchan?
Right. So to know the real Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, ladies and gentlemen, cast से शुरुआत करेंगे. Okay. All right. May I invite on stage the producers, Mr. Parag Sanghvi and Mr. Rahul Mitra first. Before the grand entry of the cast of this amazing movie. Give it up for them, ladies and gentlemen, please. Welcome, Mr. Rahul, Mr. Parag. आपकी association के बारे में please थोड़ा सा हमें बताइए with Sarkaar3.
Well, I'm associated with this film from the first franchisee, Sarkaar. When Ramu decided about this film, I think it was the best film I've ever made. So though I'm not making any more films anymore, but Sarkaar is one thing which will always be with me.
Also, your thoughts.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. We at Wave Cinemas, we just try to come out with stuff which is high on content and something that marries box office. What better and bigger than Sarkaar3? It's been a wonderful journey and we are all very, very happy and privileged to be a part of
Superb. Also would like to invite on stage Mr. Nandu Ahuja, who's the head, Senior Vice President, India Theatrical, Eros International. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen, please. Another rocking presentation, sir. क्या बोलेंगे? सरकार 3.
Hi, good evening, everybody. All I want to say is that Eros is very proud and happy to be associated with Sarkaar again. Not again, I mean, I was associated with the film earlier. And very happy to be associated with Mr. Bachchan, Ramu sir, Alambara, Wave Cinemas. And we all hope that we make it a grand success at the box office on the 7th of April.
It's so obvious, sir. Just look at this, sir. Full house hai. So now it's time to invite the amazing cast on stage. लेकिन उसके लिए chant तो बनता है. So can we do some Govinda, 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 Govinda? Give it up for the very talented Mr. Amit Saad, ladies and gentlemen. And with him, the very gorgeous, the very talented Miss Yami Gautam. Come on, you got to make some noise now. जग्गू दादा के लिए जोरदार तालियां हो जाए, Mr. Jackie Shroff. Oh, bido. And ladies and gentlemen, the man who needs no introduction, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Rohini ji is here with us. It's an honor to have you, Rohini ma'am. Yeah, thank you so much. Welcome. तालियां तो बनती हैं यार. सरकार 3.
मुझे जो सही लगता है वही करता हूँ.
मतलब जब सरकार की एंट्री हो चुकी है, सो इतना ही कह सकते हैं कि it's over to Sarkaar. So it's all yours, sir. The stage is all yours.
Oh, thank you. Please sit. I've got a mic. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen from the media, for being here today. You've already seen the trailer. Most of these occasions happen when all of us get together and we introduce ourselves to you and we talk about the film, and lots of nice things are said about each of us, but I thought it would be better that if we talk to each other and find out what we think about each other, and perhaps you will get some inkling of that as the conversation goes. So, Ramu, I'd like to initiate the conversation with you first. I have a member from my blog, from my EF group, who is some sort of an intellectual, and when he came to know that I was having a press conference today for the release of Sarkaar3, he sent me a short note, and I think that I would like to just read it out to you, and then maybe we can talk about it. He said, RGV has Ayn Rand bluntness. Ayn Rand, the great writer, in his style which suits his themes in a different way. Crime in his themes is in the eyes of the beholder. His characters make their own laws, which is rather challenging for an audience suppressed by protocols in our system. We are a nation of youth caught in a traffic snarl. All of them are on their own 2 feet, standing, pushing, pulling, or doing whatever it takes to move. And watching over this commotion is a calm mind that makes its own rules. I presume that he's talking about Sarkaar. What made you choose this subject, Ram?
See, to start with, I think the greatest film, like most people would agree with on, is something like Godfather. No? Godfather, I never really thought was about mafia or crime or underworld. It's about a man's sense of righteousness, but what he felt was justice. If the system had failed to do that, and he would take it upon himself to award that justice to the person who suffered. And that, I thought, was actually for me the soul of why first when I approached you to come to Sarkaar. Because for me, you represented as Vijay right from the beginning, from Zanzir onwards to various characters you did in the 80s and later on. That you stood up, and which is the reason I think there was a mass hysteria of the popularity of you through the characters what you portrayed. So I wanted Sarkaar to be almost like some condensation of that in one person, but both in thought, in performance, and intent and everything.
Yeah, but Ramu, that is not me. I mean, that is the writer. That's the writer's opinion about the situation, about the story. Writers are basically the actors of every film. And it is the thought process that they consume from a director. Director बोलता है कि मुझे इस तरह की कहानी बनानी है, और writer जो है वो actor होता है, screenplay writer होता है, costume designer, everything होता है.
I disagree with that, Sarkaar. The reason being, I feel writer or director is about information. Eventually, film is an emotional experience. You have to feel what the character is feeling. Suppose if I give the same dialogue, exactly written, same lighting and same taking, everything, and instead of you, I put you, I'm just giving an example. For example, a Jitendra, it is not going to work.
Why do you say
and I'm saying that's what everybody knows. If Amitabh Bachchan is feeling the emotion of what is written in that, as a person, he's feeling that. You know?
Yeah, I think this conversation is going very personal. But okay.
It is personal to me, Sarkaar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since you initiated, you have to bear with me.
When you design a screenplay, Ramu, you know, every story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Which portion do you think of first? The end, the middle, or the beginning?
Sir, I just remind you of one small conversation we had in the beginning of the first Sarkaar, you know, when I came and narrated me onto the... Beyond that, I just wanted something to start, something to end with. I never thought of anything beyond that. Now, I remember you asked me this question, why would you say all these things to Rashid, who doesn't think anything of, you know, that guy? So my answer to you was, he would speak because we want to listen Amitabh Bachchan say those lines, you know. So I think when I said emotional experience, it's not that Sarkaar is like a great, very original story, a lot of twists and turns and all that. I think there's a connectivity to the emotion, there's a relatability to the characters, with the family and the father and son emotion. More than anything else, I think everyone wants to have a friend like Sarkaar. Everyone wants to have Sarkaar. If I'm in terms of trouble, I would like to go to Sarkaar. I think that is the most important thing what I thought of.
Yeah. Would you agree with what my friend wrote about Anne Rand and her bluntness in the way she expresses? Anne Rand, as you all know, a very famous writer, playwright, screenplay writer, and a philosopher also. And somewhere she also said that, and this is one of her very famous quotes, I wonder if you were impressed by this, the question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Do you think that this kind of encapsulates the character of Sarkaar in many ways?
100%. Because the point is, when he's taking up a cause, each and every person, a lot of people will feel an injustice, an anger, a sense of a disappointment, but they will not have the guts. They will be answerable somewhere to the legal system, somewhere to the society, somewhere to what people might say, or they have enough strength to tackle it. But then every once in a while, a very rare kind of a person comes who will say that I'll just do it. And I want to speak up for it, I want to stand up for it, and he is not scared of any threat to himself, and which is the reason he becomes a leader. And Sarkaar, I think, is a epitome of that.